Hi, Nafessa. Thank you so much to all of you for taking your time to speak with me. This is such a sweet film. I was wondering, Nafessa, if you could talk about the rift between Noel and Naomi. What kind of background did Jamal offer you?
The rift between myself and Naomi, and what kind of background did Jamal offer? I got that right.
Yeah.
Uh, so so the rift between us two is really at the root of it, sibling rivalry. So that is something I think we displayed that all families are going to be able to connect to and is really relatable. And I think the beautiful part is that it has a beautiful arc, right? And they get out of their ways and they get out of their egos and they come together for the family and for the legacy and ultimately to sustain their wealth and create even more of it. And I was blessed to be able to help develop this story with Curtis Bryant, the writer, and Jamal. So the really cool part, this was my first time knowing and having a hand firsthand in creating the backstory. And to be able to play alongside Sharon Lill was really amazing and fun. We had a really great chemistry and
Good.
a sisterhood, I feel, that is going to translate on film.
Janelle, how was Troy described to you?
Comedic relief. He's trying to get Marcus in a little bit of trouble, but it's a good time. Just drop in, start a little trouble here and there.
Richard Garvin seems to really want to mend his family, not just his business, though, as well. Is it just something he sees as a way to get his business back on its feet, to incorporate both of his daughters, or does he really trust both of them with the future of this company?
Well, I think Garvin, based upon his history and legacy and how hard he had to work to get where he's going, understood that for it to go forward, that it was going to have to be someone who shared the kind of love and passion for it that he has, and that was going to happen within the family rather than outside of the family. And of course, nothing is perfect. You happen to have, fire and ice, trying to get those two conditions to work is going to be a challenge. But I think at the end of the day, he felt that his wife was going to be able to supply the glue to keep them together, and along with himself. He didn't know, God forbid, that he was going to have that unfortunate incident. But it was gonna take some work to get them on the same page. But I believe that he did it because he understood that as a legacy for a Black family, that it had to be done.
Yeah.
Nafessa, this is such a beautiful arc for your character as well. And I love the moments where you're butting head with your sister, but I also love the moments where you're boss babe in the your office, but then you're also vulnerable, opening yourself up to possibly a love that you don't want to make yourself so vulnerable to, or you're not used to making yourself
Yeah,
vulnerable to.
yeah.
What were some standout moments you had from working on this, or maybe ones that you feel most poignant?
I think if Noelle, and when she decides to open up first to herself, is that she's jealous of the family dynamic that her sister has. Yes, she's worked really hard for her career. And yes, she has paved the way in her father's company to, be the next person to take the lead as far as the company excelling to the next level concerns. But she also wants a family, and it's not something that she's most comfortable with, because she is not so easy to open up to that vulnerability. And I think she believes that opening up to that would take away from her business mindset and from her being able to give her all to the business. But there's a piece of her who wants the family, who wants the husband, who wants the child. And I think they both, switched interest throughout the movie, whereas later on in the film, Sharon Lill's character, Naomi, wanted to be more ambitious, right? So I think they were able to
Right.
learn and borrow from each other, and both were able to have beautiful arcs and ultimately come together and support each other.
Richard, I know why this is going to be a fast fan favorite holiday film, but what do you think it is about A Holiday Chance that's really going to make it so powerful and a must see every season?
Well, at the end of the day, you know, all the parts have to come together. You have to have a great story. You have to have a great cast that has great chemistry. Yeah. It has to be well directed and then put together. And I think all of the important conditions happened with this. And so therefore it's going to keep people interested and engaged and involved. And so, you know, all the parts worked.
It's just a beautiful tale. And I think all of you do so well at exploring your characters. And Johnell, you have a gift for comedy. So I think you just touch it all. And there's so many facets to this film that I think is going to make it a favorite. Not just it's a Christmas movie, but it'll resonate with people our age, and also with younger audiences and older audiences. You know, I just think there's a little bit of everything for everyone. So thank you all so much for taking your time to explore it with me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Be safe and be well.
Okay.